On this week's show, the Tesla Model X gets recalled, BMW launches the ReachNow car-sharing scheme in Seattle, and a Nissan Leaf that can read your mind. Well, sort of. These stories and more coming up next on 10. Enjoying today's show on YouTube and want to read the stories you're referring to today? Just head to our website at transportevolved.com/TEN, where you'll find today's show notes as well as links to the latest future car news, buying guides, tech primers, and car reviews. It's Friday, April 15th, 2016. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield, and I just want to give a shout out to David Eberhardt, the awesome artist behind this super cool Astrophysics Men t-shirt I'm wearing today, and have worn plenty of times in the past on this show. If you like it, you can find it for yourself over at tfury.com, along with plenty of other t-shirts that you may recognise me wearing from other shows I filmed. And in case you're wondering, no, this isn't an advert, and I'm not getting paid for this. I just get a lot of people asking me where I get the cool t-shirts from, so I figured it was time to share with the class. Go on, check them out. We start today's show with news of a recall involving the Tesla Model X electric crossover SUV, caused by a potential problem with the latch mechanism on the third row seats of the 2,700 or so vehicles which have already shipped to customers. As we explained on Monday, the recall was prompted after a third row seat latch mechanism failed on one car being used for internal validation tests being carried out ahead of the official European launch of Model X. The tests, carried out by Tesla, were designed to mimic official Euro NCAP crash tests, and as we understand, the part in question, supplied to Tesla by a parts company from Australia, only failed the once. Indeed, prior testing of the mechanism ahead of the car's US launch showed no problems, and Tesla says no subsequent tests have been able to replicate the fault. Tesla being Tesla, however, it's already redesigned the latch mechanism and is already manufacturing replacement third-row seatbacks for all cars made before the fault was discovered. While there's little risk to occupant safety, Tesla has requested that customers refrain from using the third-row seats in their cars until the replacement parts have been fitted. Kudos to Tesla and the proactive approach, and if you've got a Model X, we'd love to hear how quickly your car gets its new third-row seatbacks in the comments below. Staying with Model X for a second, this week also heralded the official launch of the online configuration tool for Model X customers who have yet to place down a deposit on the high-end plug-in car. Launched on Tuesday, the online configurator allows would-be customers to spec their dream Model X for the first time, and also managed to quietly launch a revised entry-level Model X with 75 kWh rather than 70 kWh battery pack. Customers who've already ordered the Tesla Model X 70D, a car which hasn't actually entered into production yet, will be offered the Tesla Model X 75D instead, although we'd suspect they'll also be asked to pay the apparent $1,800 price increase for the extra capacity over the 70D as well. Still, that's cheaper than the range-topping Tesla Model X P90D. Tick every option box for that, and you'll need to find somewhere around $150,000 before incentives to own one. Ouch. The Tesla Model X wasn't the only Tesla getting an upgrade this week either. On Tuesday, the California automaker also rolled out a refreshed Model S, complete with some new options, slightly tweaked EPA-approved ranges, and a revised front grille that brings Model X, Model S, and Model 3 design language in line with one another. Sadly, we've no video of the updated Model S to share because Tesla hasn't yet made any of these available to the press. But as these photos show, the Model S now has the same sans grille design as Model X, along with a new lower bumper panel and Tesla T-bar shaped black insert with the usual Tesla logo. Other improvements to Model S include the option of having the HEPA biohazard filtration system, part of the high-tech package, 2 optional trim designs, and an improved 48-amp onboard charger that can slash charging time. Add 2 in tandem for even more charging power, and Tesla says charging times at home can be improved by 50% when paired with its 100-amp Tesla Wall Connector charging station. Sadly, there's no P100D yet, and upgrades also come with a price hike of $1,500 across the Tesla Model S range. Still, I guess when you're considering a brand new Model S, $1,500 isn't going to break the bank, metaphorically speaking, of course. And also one of the benefits to Tesla ownership is unlimited free at point-of-use access to its massive supercharger network, something that as yet no other automaker has managed to build a rival to. The closest is Nissan, which has been working alongside various US charging providers for the past few years to roll out its No Charge to Charge program, which essentially gives new Leaf owners a custom single card that grants unmetered access, at least for the first 30 minutes, to different electric car charging networks across the US. While it's not yet nationwide, it is now in most major US cities where the Nissan Leaf is sold. But earlier this week, Blink, one of Nissan's No Charge to Charge partners, declared it's no longer going to honour NCTC cardholders at its Level 2 low-power charging stations across the US. At the time of filming, we've not been able to get to the bottom of this decision, but we can say, thanks to an email sent out to all NCTC customers, that Blink will cease offering free Level 2 charging at the end of next week. Or, to put it another way, it will start charging those customers the usual, quite astonishingly high charging fees for every session taking place at a Level 2 charging station from April 23rd. Because of the way it's worded, however, it's not clear from the letter if the company intends to honour NCTC customers at DC quick charging stations or not. When we have more information, we'll let you know, but considering the local to me Blink network chargers spend more time out of action than they do in service, the network's departure from this scheme may not be missed all that much. Yeah. A scheme that you will be able to access, at least if you live in the Pacific Northwest city of Seattle, is the newly launched BMW ReachNow car sharing service, which officially went live this week. As we explained on Tuesday, the service offers Seattle residents and visitors the chance to rent a BMW Mini, BMW 3 Series sedan or BMW i3 on an ad hoc per-hour basis, and is modelled on the highly popular DriveNow scheme already in operation across parts of Europe. Those who've been watching this show for a while will also know that DriveNow used to operate in San Francisco as an exclusively electric-only car-sharing service, but was cancelled by BMW due to problems obtaining the necessary parking permits across the city. As far as we know, the BMW i3s used in the new scheme in Seattle are actually the same cars that once lived in San Francisco, although this time they're joined by some internal combustion offerings from BMW too. It's easy to register for the service using the free ReachNow app, so if you're in Seattle and fancy giving it a go, why not download the app and see how you get on? Talking of Washington, as anyone who lives in the Washington state, or indeed its neighbour to the south, Oregon, will know, it's not too difficult to travel long distance by electric car in either state, at least down the I-5 corridor, thanks to the most excellent West Coast electric highway. And while travel further south in California is fine around the key EV-friendly cities of San Francisco and Los Angeles, there's been something of a lack of infrastructure along the I-5 corridor, making long-distance trips almost impossible unless you own a Tesla. Well, this week we heard that's about to change, thanks to the awarding of nearly $9 million in grants to ensure California's portion of the West Coast Electric Highway finally joins up with the Pacific Northwest segment. 4 different charging providers, ChargePoint, EV Connect, NRG and Recargo, received a share of the funds, which will collaboratively fund 41 DC quick charging sites along I-5, Highways 99 and the 101. In addition, 40 of the sites will also gain Level 2 charging capability, which is essentially the same charging capabilities that most electric car owners have at home. Let's hope all 4 companies are successful in completing the installations on time, on budget, and that the stations they install are way more reliable than some of the charging stations we've seen installed in the past in this kind of project. Say no more. From one hotspot from electric vehicles to another now half a world away in Norway. As some of you might remember, there was some concern last year when Norway hit its electric car adoption goals 2 years early, making some wonder if the slow withdrawal of electric car incentives would mean the northern European country would slide back into gas-guzzling status. Well, this week we heard the news that that's certainly not the case. Indeed, last month, a massive 2/3 of new cars registered in Norway were either pure electric, plug-in hybrid or hybrid. And while we admit that Norway's massive electric in car incentives are still in place, for now at least, the impending withdrawal of perks like driving the bus lanes for free doesn't seem to have lessened the enthusiasm the nation has for plug-in cars. Of course, this might all change in the coming months and years, but for now, it seems Norway's citizens are well and truly in love with the electric car, and the Norwegian government is well on the way to achieving its goal of making 100% of all cars on its roads emission-free in just 9 years' time. And that's great news for anyone who wants to see a cleaner, greener world. Well done, Norway. And to the rest of the world, what's taking you so bloody long? From a country that's rapidly adopting electric cars now, to a company that aims to rapidly make electric cars, or at least rapidly make the factory where it will eventually make those electric cars. I am, of course, talking about Faraday Futures, or FF, which held the groundbreaking ceremony this week for its $1 billion automotive production facility just north of Las Vegas, Nevada. The ceremony, attended by both State Governor Brian Sandoval and a slew of local dignitaries, marked the next stage of FF's venture into the automotive market, but didn't drop a single hint about what we can expect from the company in terms of its first production electric car. Still, there might not be much for wait. According to company executives present at the event, we should see the facility, more than 900 acres in total with 4,500 employees, fully built and operational in 2 years' time, around half of the time that such a construction project normally takes. While it's great to see FF forge forward, we can't help but admit to getting more and more itchy about this firm. We want to see more plug-in cars on the market, of course, but it's high time we saw a pre-production prototype, especially if the factory will be finished in 2 years. Don't you agree? And finally, these days we're pretty used to seeing gimmicky toys that use brainwaves as their preferred method of control, from those cute little cat ears and tail to remote-controlled helicopters. But this week, Nissan Japan launched a new ad campaign celebrating the Leaf's 5th anniversary of the start of sales in the country that uses brainwave technology to project the thoughts and emotions of the person behind the wheel onto the road. Interpreting brain activity, an advanced computer program matched neural activity with one of 33 different pre-made images, which were then projected onto the road, manga style, as the cars were driven down the road by students who had never experienced driving an electric car before. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's certainly very, very Japanese in its execution. So to see the video in its entirety, head to our site when we're finished here to see it. Talking of finishing, that's exactly what I'm going to do now because I'm pretty hungry right now and could really murder some sausages and mash. Although at this point, I've got to admit, I haven't found a decent banger this side of the Atlantic Ocean yet. And if you're wondering what a banger is, it's slang for sausage. Anyway, I digress. We'll be back next week at the usual time with another episode of T.E.N. And in the meantime, you can find all the news that's fit to print at our website at transportevolve.com, catch up with us on Twitter at transportevolve, or check out our latest shows on our usual YouTube channel. And if you liked what you saw today, please consider keeping us independent and impartial by visiting our Patreon page at patreon.com/transportevolves and pledging your support from as little as $1 per month. As we've said before, we're 100% funded by our readers and we have 0 ads on our site. So if you can, we'd really love you to help us by showing your appreciation through Patreon. We're still a little ways from our next target, closer than we were last week, but once we reach it, we'll be able to dramatically increase our content for you to all enjoy. Talking of content, there's a lot we haven't managed to fit into today's show, including how Mercedes-Benz executives are sending mixed messages on electric cars, why it's okay that the Tesla Model 3 isn't for everyone, how used car dealerships are taking electric cars to places that they're not easy to buy brand new, and we give you an update on Sparky, our recently adopted historic Toyota RAV4 EV. So when we're done, be sure to head to our site to read them all. Thanks for watching. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. Have a great weekend, and until next time, keep evolving.